Set procedure. Yo! I'm on the dyno right now. 2016 WRX. It's got a flex fuel kit, but it throws instant errors with the flex fuel system for some reason. I guess it's probably another bad kit from Cobb. I don't know what else would cause it to just to error out like crazy, but as soon as you plug it in and they went bloop, codes. And I have like long delays set on the codes too, so it is clearly effed in the A. Brand new kit just installed. So made right. So that's fun. That's the fun stuff. Let's see what code it is this time. It's the same code. Voltage low input. Yep. So I got no volts from the ethanol sensor. Cool beans. Let me tell you guys, I am beat. Look at these bags on my eyes. I am fucking tired. And I slept like 10 hours last night, but I am still just annihilated. My weekend was extremely productive. Extremely productive. Saturday, we were gonna seal the floor in my shop, and we tried. But you gotta wash it first. It's gotta be clean, right? You can't put sealant on a dirty ass floor. So we got the pressure washer out and some soap, and we pH neutral soap, very important, and scrubbed it, and then blew it out, and turned the heater on, the fans on, and had that sucker just really really hot. Had 90 degrees in the shop with the fans going, and it would get humid. I'd open the door, get the humidity out, help the water, you know, evaporate a little better. But the concrete did not dry for like 12 freaking hours. So I didn't get to seal it that day. So Sunday morning I get up, I go out to the shop, I do a layer of sealant on the floor, and then I go into the kitchen and the guys start showing up, and I make everybody breakfast. The wife helped too, but I made pancakes and sausage and eggs and all that. The wife made the eggs and the sausage. I just made the pancakes. So fed everybody. Went out there, laid the second coat of sealant on the floor, and then let that dry. And then we went and got the neighbor's skid steer with forklift, you know, with forks on it, and had him come by and lift the lift, the car lift that's in my driveway for 8 months, and put it inside the shop. And we started taking the support brackets off and everything, took it apart, got everything upright, installed the lift. And then, that wasn't enough though. After installing the lift, we put the Corvette on the lift, and then removed the entire drivetrain from the car. We dropped everything down. Front and rear cross members, engine, transmission, torque tube, wiring harness, fucking everything. We dropped it all down. So, Sunday was a very productive day. Sealed the floor twice, made breakfast, installed the lift, ripped everything out of the Corvette. Super excited about that. And then we come back here, and I remember, oh yeah, my piston wall clearance is really big on this engine that I want to put in the Corvette. So then I'm sad again. But then I call the machinist, and he's like, well, the paper from JE says 5 thou piston to wall, and I set yours at 5.5 thou. That shouldn't matter. And I was like, well, you're right about that. So I contact JE again. I'm like, hey guys, like this is weird. Like your sheet says 5, but you're telling me I need like, you know, this much. Well, why does it say 5? And then he said, well, you know, you want the coating's this thick, and you want it this distance from the coating. And I was like, well, that's what I have. The coating was thicker on my pistons, and I am that distance from the coating. So maybe I'm okay. So we're gonna see, put it together. So Nick's back there right now, putting the engine together. He's doing ring gaps and putting pistons on rods, which is a pain in the dick with those things. And the spring compressor will be here till tomorrow. So he's gonna get all the pistons done, all the ring gaps done, and then tomorrow we're gonna drop the pistons in it, bolt that shit together, and start taking apart the Corvette engine at my house. Get the stuff that we're gonna use off of that, off of it, covers and the heads and the rockers and all that stuff. And then hopefully when I get in there, I get to see how bad the damage is and figure out if I got to order new lifters or what. Probably do. Luckily lifters are in stock, so that shouldn't take fucking no time at all to get in. So I'm super excited about that. It's gonna be awesome. That car is gonna fucking rip. It's not boosted, but the cam is gigantic. Each lobe is like my head. It's just gigantic lobes. Tons of duration, tons of lift. It's gonna be good. It's gonna fucking rip. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the 6.2 liter torque and displacement. Torque due to the displacement gain over the 5.7. I drove Chase's Grand Sport, and even though, like I said, mine makes way more horsepower than his does at the top end, his mid range is just so fat. And my power curve is about 100 more than my old one, almost across the entire power band. It starts off like this and just gets bigger over the factory curve. So it isn't like I lost a lot of mid range in my car because I put the bigger cam and heads and higher compression ratio and headers, and I actually gained everywhere on my car because of the compression ratio and the better cam and all that. Now this engine I'm putting together is more displacement, and the cam is gigantic. So compared to Chase's car, I might still lose some mid range torque out of it compared to his car, but the top end is going to annihilate it. So I'm just excited for that. I'm really excited for that. Because as much as I want to do boost on the Vette, I don't want to do boost on the Vette. I want to do boost on a different Vette, not this one. I want this one to be the NA build. And we're taking my supercharger that I bought for this Vette and putting on Craig's, because it was at Craig. Chase's build, because it was actually a C6 kit that I got. So I'm putting it on Chase's car. And that should make his car stupid fast. And then we're looking at buying a Camaro, like a 6th gen Camaro. And with that one, I'm going to do a couple turbos. I think a couple turbos would be a good time. I'm going to do pull. Flip this around. Flip the camera around. Alright. Where are we at? Waiting, it says. Dyno said it's waiting. That's for the ethanol sensor, that check engine light. Shouldn't cause any problems in the pull. We'll find out. Interesting. Alright, logs. Let's see here. I was not looking at the knocks. I don't know if it knocked or not. Let's see, did it knock? Quick scan says no. I probably should have been watching that during the poll, but I was looking at other things. Okay, so that's good. Damn, did it knock? Drop, did it knock? Nothing like that. Boost. Let's go to boost. See how boost was. Boost was nice and controlled. 17 to 19. Oh, we got hit 20. Touched 20. At 5K. Really? Didn't think that was going to happen. Timing is too conservative. 6 degrees at 6,000 is not sufficient. But let's see what the dynograph says. A lot of lines on. Let me clear all those lines off. And after the mess, we select new run. Choose the last run. Okay. Alright. Some weird curve going on there. Nice torques going up pretty good. And guys, pretty fucking hard up here. Remember I said it wasn't enough timing, so clearly it was not enough timing. But I was going pretty good on this thing. But bloop, just not enough. It should be a little higher like this. When it's an FA, there's always a little bit of taper on pump gas. So when you get the ethanol, you can get rid of the taper completely. But the ethanol, it burns faster on less timing, so you can flatten it out a little more, and then you add a little timing, and then it's not going to knock. You can really square off this notch here. I can see shit in there. The blue screen, there we go. There we go. Looking pretty good. And then right there at 6,000, it just makes a U-turn. Again, that's the FA. You got to really throw a lot of timing out there. And like I said, I was repeating my log, not quite enough timing in it. I need to adjust that. But power-wise, that's fucking ripping. Process What's Integral was doing some work on this thing, that's for sure. Alright, put this down so I can select another parameter. Zoom out. So you see here, I got 3.5 degrees at 55. Remarkably, the power is still climbing at 55. That's actually pretty surprising considering how little timing that is. And then it just doesn't go up fast enough. From there, 4.5, 5, 6 by 62. Wasn't even 6 by 62. And so that just isn't enough timing on top to keep the power flatlining. Basically, a duty cycle is slowly dropping because the boost target is slowly dropping. Timing actually went up quite a bit, 14 degrees at 66. The power did not. Airfield correction, 2% or less. That means I'm nailing the target right here. Full-time closed loop, so they're about the same. All right. What can we do? This review cycle is high enough. Actually, going to boost drop. I think boost target dropped really far. I didn't realize I haven't gone that far. I have set an 11 at red line. That's a little low. Should be like 13 or 14. So I'm going to select that column for the boostages and raise it up some. And blend it with the map there and see if the car likes it or not. That time is going up, power's dropping like a rock, boost is dropping like a rock. It's gotta be the boost, right? There's no knock. Air fuels are flat, looking good. Pull this window a little bit, leave it down some though, so you guys can hear the car better than just through the closed windows. Well, they picked the top end up. Check out that thumb. Perfect, right? Good view. There it is. All right. Pick the top end up, but also pick the top end up. So I still have it dipped. Let's erase other stuff so we can bring just that one up. My next tune today, that's already here because I'm late on this one. It's a little better. Is a 280Z, that one right there, actually, for the Mega Squirt. So that's the next one I'm going to do. Interesting. Well, I'm doing this one for a friend, so I gotta get this one off the dyno. I can keep fucking with it later. I get this one off the dyno so that I can get the other guy on. This his appointment slot has come and gone by 15 minutes. Change the scaling a little bit. I don't remember, honestly, and I don't know the guy very well. I honestly thought he wasn't going to show because most of the standalone guys don't show. It's just a thing. Like a lot of guys with standalones don't show. But that's a lot less drop than it was before, huh? And if you keep changing the scale of this dyno graph, you can make it look a lot smaller than it is. That's some of the fucker that some shops do. Like they're like, oh, check out how good my stuff is. And what they did is they changed the scale and made it super flat looking. So the torque's pretty flat. From bottom to top. Horsepower climbs decently and then up dips a little bit. With some more work I can get this a little, I can probably make this line here connect a little better to here. I don't have that right now. I can get this guy's car in the dyno. And then I'll keep fucking this car later. Gotta turn that code off too. That guy right there. Bomb, bomb, bomb. No! Not the check engine. All I need now is like a fucking little like -141 light, right? The Z's got mega squirt. I know that much, as it's got mega squirt. I don't know what it has otherwise. Oh, I didn't check for knock, did I? Did I get a knock out of that bitch? Oh, there was one. Right there, 66. Okay. I will address that. One little knocky. Oh, actually two. 66 and 67. So I will adjust that. I didn't like the higher timing with the increased boost. And took this car off the dyno. And then we're going to do some Z tuning with Mega Squirt. And you guys get to see the freaking tragedy that is Mega Squirt. Like, just real quick. See all these tables? These are just real-time tables. But down here is where all the other stuff happens, right? I mean, we're talking hundreds of tables in here. I got folders with folders, right? And in these folders are more tables. So, factory ECU's got compensation for days for just like each freaking function. And the Mega Squirt is gonna have like 3. Look at this. Folders with folders with folders with folders. Yo, bro, here's like folders. Yeah. Oh, this one's got one map and one folder. Okay, well, not quite neat. But this one, right? So yeah, we get Mega Squirt, and you're gonna be like, wait, there's only 6 tables? And then you say, yes. 6 total. I think actually that the new Mega Squirt, I think it might be 12. And the resolution is actually pretty abysmal. If you look at this map here, this is the time map for this FA, and I gotta scroll down to see it all because right? The time map on a Mega Squirt is like, bloop. That's it, right here. So, you guys get to see that here in just a minute. So, let me set this down. Get this car off the dyno. Oh, I gotta flash that back too, though. Bring this back up really quick. Yeah, ethanol raw is 0, so there's no voltage getting to this thing. I wonder if they got the power plug in the wrong spot, or if the sensor or the cub box died. It's brand new, so I'm assuming those guys probably installed it wrong. I got a little trim at idle to pick up too. It's weird though, it's only at idle. Everywhere else, it's nothing. Like there's almost no trims at all. Idle trim, -12. Idle trim here. I got 1 at 8. That's it. So, I don't know. Like I said, this one isn't proceeding right now. Getting this customer done is, so let me do that. Let me flash this one really quick. Put this down. You know? Come on! Balance, you bitch. Won't bounce. Oh, this thing, it's like a 16, right? WRX. The seats in here, I don't remember them having that much bolstering. Like these things are ridiculous. They feel like my JDM seats. Like there's no movement. I mean, I know I've gotten a little fat, but there is no movement at all between me and these bolsters. These things are tight. I'm gonna have to get space for RS. But I have GetaDomTune RS, it's really nice. But these are even more super bolstery. Alright, let me flash this, or let me save this one. And then let me save another version of it, where I'm going to get rid of the flex fuel and disable the flex fuel in case I can't figure out why that doesn't work. We're not running ethanol yet anyways on the car, so no flex. So we're not running ethanol anyways, so you know, we'll see. Eventually we will, but obviously we got to figure out what the heck's up with this thing. Now that we got an E85 pump here in Spokane, I'm super excited about that. My Corvette's 11.8 to 1 compression, I think it is, on the 6.2 with the cam I got, which means it would benefit from a little bit of octane. So I'll probably run like 3 or 4 gallons of ethanol to a tank. Get a little octane boost, get a little extra cooling. Might rip. I mean, it will rip, but it might rip even better. Someone just pulled in front of my dyno door. Damn it. Oh yeah, that's good. So what'd you guys do this weekend? I obviously haven't streamed in a couple days. I've just been so fucking beat. So beat. I mean, we did a lot of work on Sunday. Clean the floor, seal the floor, install lift, usually the pull train engine out of Corvette. And as it was, even then, we got done before the sun went down. So we worked hard, worked fast. I had a lot of help from the guys though. Tanner and Igor, Chase. Chase is more moral sport. I think he might have lifted something once. Nick. Yeah, so we got a lot of hands, you know, to do stuff. So it was definitely nice. And then the women were hanging out, and Chase's kids and everybody was goofing off. The wives were working in the garden, and the kids were playing in the dirt. It was a good day. It was a good Sunday. Just a nice, fun, even though working hard, you know, kind of Sunday. I didn't drink a single beer though. I think I slacked. Yeah, that's rough, dude. Have I been able to see the new latest? What new turbo? There's another one? Quitter. Oh, I didn't stop drinking beer. I just didn't get a chance to drink any beer. Yeah, laying in the crawl space is not fun. Especially with as beautiful as it was this weekend. It was really nice. It was a fucking nice weekend. It was nice to have the door open. Neighbors' cats always come by. Like Mac and Max. Max is just a fucking snuggle bug, and he always wants to hang out with me. He just wants me to like carry him around and do stuff or lay with us. I mean, he'll stand next to me. I got the freaking roto drill on the ground. I'm beating the concrete, you know, drilling a hole in thing. Those things are not quiet. He's standing next to me, just like chilling. Like, cat, watch those ears, man. Work on a car. I was using my table saw, cutting wood, and he's laying in a chair right next to the thing. Wood dust, sawdust getting on him and shit. He doesn't care. He just wants to hang out. So the neighbors' cats always come over, and we all just fucking goof off or get work done. A couple people got food poisoning from what I hear, though. Engine, well, I did the whole thing, right? I did the drivetrain, so front, rear, cross members, the torque tube, the transmission, the suspension, and everything, all at once. We did it all at once. Only took a couple hours. Way faster than it was pulling the engine on my CTSV. That was like 20 hours because I tried to do it at the top. If I had done the same in the CTSV and gone out the bottom with it, it would have been way faster. 2020 LGT Turbo came back with 2.4. Oh, that one. Yeah, no, I have not seen it. I haven't seen a single 2.4. I have yet to see a 2.4 FA. Yeah, none. Haven't seen any. So I have no idea what what it's gonna be like. I think it's gonna be sweet, to be honest with you. I think it's gonna be pretty badass. The fact that they had that engine rated for towing, that means something. You know, when you rate an engine for towing on something as heavy as the Ascent with towing capacity, that means that you've succeeded, you know, in making a small displacement engine handle load at a very high duty cycle, and that's fucking impressive. So that's like perfect recipe for a race car. Put that engine in a fucking STI, call it good. I would maybe a slightly larger turbo, slightly larger aggressive tune, and that's it. But that thing, if it can handle towing 5,000 pounds for, you know, up a grade, then it can handle doing some rips on the track in an STI for sure. So I really look forward to them getting, I'm really looking forward to them getting that thing in an STI and getting some time in it. It's gonna be fun. Take that phone. Somebody texting me. I'm bringing a sled tomorrow. Dude, head gaskets on the Duramax. Oof. That should be fun. And yes, got a door match. It's not something I want to do at all. All right, I gotta get out of this car. The flash is done. I gotta unstrap it, get it off the dyno, get this other guy's car tuned. I'm gonna leave you guys in here for a minute while I get all this stuff unstrapped and get ready, and then we'll start tuning the other car. And I'll show you the Mega Squirt. Just how fun it isn't, but how simple it is. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's simple, but it's lacking. But I heard it run. He needs my help. That's a good one on. Yeah, I will here in a minute. So I didn't know how the car was strapped up last night. What? The Anton's car, about it. I didn't look at how it was strapped up, but both straps got totally fucked. I don't know what they were rubbing on, but one strap's no good anymore. You can see it on the ground there. So I don't know if it was catching something or got pinched. I have no idea because I didn't look at it. What I did is I looped them over the trailing arm, hooked it in, and then where that knuckle bolt is, I kind of like tucked it over like how we usually do on the G, that body style. That's it? Yeah. Yeah, they're fucked. You break one? It's on the ground, just look at it.
That thing has been tearing for a while, right? Both of them. Both.
Yeah. That one's fucking pretty much done now, though, unfortunately.
This one's on its way.
They've had their 14 hours.
And that new one is fucking flimsy as shit. This little yellow thing.
Oh yeah, that's super sweet. I don't like that.
They're made out of rubber bands, nylon.
Yeah, I mean, if they claim 10,000 pounds working load.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to try that one.
Nope.
No.
If it's still on here when we're doing my car, I'm buying a new one.
We need to find. I've been trying to find good straps. I can't find any straps that have a hook on them that are rated anything. All the ones that have ratings are D rings or that double fucking thing that's on that.
Yeah, I don't like that double clampy deal on that one.
No, it sucks. Doesn't go in there and
Sucks
so bad.
At least
And the other ones are Pelicans, but Pelicans are huge and they catch everything.
I'll see if I can find any too.
Might need to go to like, what's it, the yellow off the roller there? Off the back, yeah.
The slider?
Yep.
Ooh, slider's not good right now.
Not me. Good.
What's from that Mary Terry you had? You didn't share, that's why.
I ate it over 3 sections. What do you want from me? I was here till 10 o'clock last night.
That sucks.
Just about done. So you get this car off the dyno. Doink. Put his mirror back where I found it. At least pretty close. Hey. Drive this around the block real quick.
Do what?
Drive that around the block, please. So the lights turn off. What do you got? The FA engine has my name on it with a 6-speed. Even has your name on it. What does that mean? Like you're gonna buy one? I think this car is very wide. Sure. Do you have one ordered already or something? Is that what you're saying? Oh, there it is. Just gotta put the plates on the rollers. Rear-wheel drive car. Right? There it goes. There's a little turbo down there.
Yeah, so I couldn't remember what it had, so I took a picture so I can tell you what's in it. So it's a Borg Warner. It's the 7064.
Okay. Yes, see, it's a
point-
Borg Warner.
Yeah, it's got the 0.3 aspect ratio. So I've probably got 1,600 miles in the car since I did it.
Uh-huh.
Had a little bit of heating issue initially, and I put in a bigger fan that seemed to resolve that. I had some fill rail stuff initially, and I got, just by transferring I have this here, the pressure gauge and stuff, so it seemed like it resolved a lot of that.
Interesting.
Put a little heat shield in it.
Oh, yeah, you got a lot of intercooler in front of that fan, or in front of that radiator, so
Yeah, it's probably not helping now.
yeah, it's a lot of work. And then the oil cooler too.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
It seems like it's new. It seems like, of course, I haven't had it through the heat of the summer,
Right?
but it's gotten a lot better. And we deleted the distributor, went to a crankchanger, and then we did the L-swing coils. It's got a 240 head, so it's got the top oiler on it.
Mm-hmm.
With it's got forged valves and poured and polished head. It's just got the stock turbo aluminum pistons in it. Problem I'm running into right now is when I
Oh, it looks good.
when I get on it, I keep hitting like a boost limit or ignition cutoff or something. I think it's boost limit, and down pretty low. I mean, like if you get on it, if I get into it for more than third throttle, it just boosts up so fast that it's constantly just retards itself. You know, we've kind of just taken as far as we can. So
Now, how strong is this bottom end?
it's a all fully rebuilt, but it's a stock turbo spec bottom end, Datsun turbo bottom end.
So stock rods and everything too?
It is turbo.
Do you have any
rods.
idea what the torque limit is on these things?
I don't.
Okay, and what size injectors are those?
Those are 440s, I think.
440s? Okay. And then that turbo has the internal gate on it, I see.
It does.
Do you know what spring is in that actuator?
Yes. That's on there too, I think.
And then,
And this is, and then there's our user.
yep, that's what I was going to look at next.
I think if, should say on there.
That's the right way. That's the, oh, it's the factory actuator. Okay, it's not the Turbo Smart actuator. All right. How much preload is on that shaft?
We adjusted that a little bit, but I can't, it's been such a, let's see.
Is this an engine light with a switch on the back of it?
Yeah, I think it's factory. And then there's a cord in that, and you can take it anywhere in the, so if you take that front off, you can take it anywhere in the engine compartment. It's kind of funny, huh?
That is cool.
See if I can find out if there's some more information on that.
It's nice, man. It's clean.
It's got, you know, these have that rear end noise, which is pretty common in these old Datsuns. So, like, it's fine in town, but if you get on the highway, I can hear that. You know, it's like some backlash in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've had, this is about the 5th Datsun I've had this. 4 of them have had that problem, but it's really...
Which rear end's in it?
It's just the stock rear end.
Do you know what it's called?
No, it's supposed to be a limited slip, but...
Is it like an R160?
I don't know.
R180? R200? I don't know. They had them this year.
Yes, I'm going to ask AJ what he's got.
Well, that's big. Looks like a 200.
Oh, it is the 200.
Yep.
And I put a bigger drive shaft in it.
It's got a gigantic freaking trigger wheel on that brake rotor.
Huh.
That is interesting. It looks like fans.
Yeah, that's how they
Just
did it. Stop.
Fan blades. Looks almost like a trigger wheel. Is there a trigger wheel too on there? Is there a sensor?
No, I think it's
Just fan blades?
Yeah.
Because that would work for ABS sensor.
Hey, question. I'm over here at Dominic's, and I have a question on that spring ratio.
It is the check engine light. It's literally the check engine light. I want to check the engine, so I turn this light on.
What's that?
It's a check engine light. What is?
We're
This. I want to check out the engine, so I turn on the light.
Oh, nice.
And he says it's on the thing that you pull off and it goes on a
Oh,
string
yeah.
all around the engine bay.
They're about ready to put on the...
Oh, it's a service light. Just pull it off, go.
Oops, just on this one.
Stock bottom end, right? We didn't really do anything other than just the turbo rods and pistons.
Turn that guy. Comes off. That's cute. It's cool. They did a cool job with it. It's very clean.
We thought we'd
The
get
piping looks good.
Hey, Dominic, we're
Yeah.
thinking like 400 foot-pounds. We'd be getting real concerned about those rods, probably.
Okay.
Anything else?
At the engine?
At the engine, AJ? Well, he's thinking closer to the tire.
Okay. What kind of dynos are you used to?
Oh yeah, what kind of dyno you used to, he said. I don't think we're going to get that. Yeah. Let me give you a buzz back. Right.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Right. Low end. Got it. Okay, I'll budget back. Yeah, we're thinking 12-pound spring. This way, that was like a medium.
Okay.
It's a good spring, I think. And then
Okay.
it was, we threw it on the dyno initially right after we did it. I think we were getting 3 to 3 1/4 was our best at the rear, at the wheels.
Where was that at?
At Hank's.
Oh, Hank's. Okay.
Yeah.
What's he have? He has a Dyno Jet, right?
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, it was not a real good experience because he didn't have any experience with MS3.
Oh.
And it was a kind of a not time well spent. He offered to have us come back in and do it again, but it was kind of like your reputation seemed to be a lot better. So.
Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll see. I'll maximize it at 12 first and see where it goes, because I would think 12 would be a pretty good power output on it, and then from there we'll see what we get, and then see how efficient the boost control is above that.
Yeah, I think I want to say that we've kind of he ramped more boost into it at the top end,
right?
Just to take the torque away from the lower end. I think maybe we're at like 15, 16 pounds.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And then the controllers in the original factory place is at your footwell on your left foot there.
Oh, it's not controlled by the Megasport?
It is. Right. I put it in the original factory location, the Megasport box.
Oh, okay. Back control. Okay.
Yeah, so I just put it in the rig, and then I've got there's the cable out of it here. Right?
Perfect.
Yep.
All right.
And
anything I need to know about driving it? Anything weird?
No, it's all. I mean, pretty much everything in it was new. The training was didn't need anything. It's just like butter. It's really good.
The coil bracket's pretty cool, huh? The coil bracket? I like the coil bracket. Looks good. All right, I'm gonna close this hood so I can drive it on. All right, let's just latch it down one.
You gotta kind of pull that back.
Yeah.
So then it'll come down.
I didn't want to be too hard on it.
Yeah, it'll smoke.
Remember what you said you wanted your gaps at?
1822s.
Okay.
Something like that. 822.
I'm sorry. The only thing, when you started, I've always noticed that the only thing I put in the whole car was the air fuel mixture gauge. And you'll see when you start it seems like it starts up at about like 12.5, and then 5 seconds in it leans out to about 16.5, then it drops back down. AJ thinks that's just kind of normal, that that's what Megasport does. I don't know. Like
Post start.
Okay, yeah.
Post start routine.
We don't have
we
don't have a startup injector, so we've been running in the idle run 1,000 RPM just because I need that in startup.
What's it do with startup?
We just need that little extra fuel to kind of keep it.
Well, the ECU should control fuel based on coolant temperature.
Okay,
so
it'd be nice to have that down a little bit. If you could get my idle day, because it seems like it idles now about just over 1,000, maybe 1,100 RPM.
When it's warm or cold?
Warm and cold.
Okay. Now, does it have an idle air control motor?
No, it's got it. No, it's not. I mean,
Oh, gotcha.
See, we put it the factory.
So it's not the fuel you need; it's the air you need.
Right. So they had an injector here, and a startup injector. We got it. We removed it through the whole process.
But what did it have for air addition?
That I don't know.
Okay. Because that's the big thing, right? Like fuel is covered by that. We can do
Right.
fuel with the injectors, no problem.
Okay.
It's the extra air for idle
You're
to
pulling
keep it.
in.
That you need to keep it up, right?
That I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why that 1,000 is needed.
Oh, it's
When
to pull
it's-
the extra air.
It's the air, yeah.
Okay.
Because I can do fuel all day long, right? There's no limit to
Right.
that. But if the throttle plate doesn't open more, and I get more air in the engine, it won't run.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little. Sorry, I couldn't give you more. I'm kind of pretty ignorant. I kind of went down this path being fairly ignorant.
It's all right.
You know, and just.
So an idle air control motor can be added. The Megasport does support it.
Okay.
And you can use this port, for example, right? You could
Right.
plumb, a big 5/8 or 1/2-inch pipe into it that goes to an idle control motor.
Okay.
Megasport supports a couple of them.
Might be-
Preferably the 2-wire one. There's a 2-wire one that I just put in Tanner Skyline. Haltech sells it. It's like $200
Okay.
for the thing. And it just gets power on one side and ECU on the other.
Yeah.
And then the ECU just grounds it out and triggers the open signal.
Okay.
And so it's a PWM, so it'll cycle it. at various frequencies is needed to maintain idle control,
Okay.
and that becomes your idle controller for hot and cold and everything.
Oh, so that's cool.
And then
That may be worth me doing.
it's
though.
absolutely worth it. Yeah. So like you're you know, when you're rolling down the road and you push the clutch in, you want like an extra 100 or so RPM because you're going to use power steering and brakes and that kind of stuff, right? And that will bump it up 100 RPM while you're cruising.
Okay.
And then when you come to a stop, it'll bloop and settle down. Like it's really,
Okay.
it's the way to do it, really. So.
And then I did put a knock sensor in. I didn't have time to ever. I know my wires are here. I ended them there, and I put it at the front of the motor. I couldn't find the frequency for it when I first did it.
Is it wired in or not?
I have wires to here in my loom. I stopped them in here, and I was going to do it before I got here, and I just didn't do it. So, and I just used a GM knock sensor.
Okay, which one?
And it's that guy there.
Oh, I see. It's standard Bosch looking
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. It's kind of on the front of the motor.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
It's good for a couple cylinders.
We couldn't find a good spot. I guess there's a spot back in here, but it's the same kind of deal, right?
Well, on the head is not an ideal place for a knock sensor. In fact, you don't want to run that at all. So we won't hook that up because that will pick up all the valve noise.
All noise and everything
And
else.
it won't hear knock. It'll just hear valves
In fact,
and
that's
trigger
up pretty
down.
high, isn't it? Oh, it's at the bottom side of the head,
But it's right where the valve seat.
right.
So technically, knock sensor should be further down the block. You know, like if you look at the GM V8s, for example, they're down just above the oil pan. They're like right here where this mount is,
Right.
about that distance.
Okay.
And so it can still hear the knock generated in the block. Also, by being far enough down,
Right.
it gets a more even distance to all the cylinders. Where if it's up, then cylinder 3 is like, that far, and then cylinder 4 is this, 5 is this, right?
So you're
that
getting
kind
a
of
false, almost kind of. Like,
And it's just a bias that doesn't apply.
Right.
It isn't like, filterable. So you want it further away so that you have a closer, a more even spread of distance from the cylinders. And then not so high up that all the valves trip the knock sensor.
Okay.
Because knock happens in a window. Well, you want detection to happen in a window. And that window is typically either just before or just after top dead center to about 50 degrees after that.
Okay.
Knock doesn't usually happen until around 20 degrees after top dead center. Right around peak cylinder pressure is where knock happens.
Well, we've got no indication of it by hearing it or driving.
That's good.
It,
Yeah.
But not ever.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that's you're only as keen as your ears are, right?
Sure.
I had a couple of times in this build I've smelled antifreeze, and I've chased everywhere. I don't see it anywhere. I am running a turbo head gasket from Datsun.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Cometics,
Yeah.
and I bought a multi-layer steel gasket, but I haven't had no indication in the oil anywhere. So
Okay.
but-
Just an occasional coolant smell.
yeah, and I don't know if maybe it's coming off of it's like water, but nothing on the ground ever.
Okay. Not from the overflow or anything that you
No.
noticed.
Um,
And that's down here, right? So I'm looking at down here.
yeah,
Is that your
little
overflow?
aluminum bottle is just my overflow.
Okay. And that hose goes all the way to the bottom of the bottle, right?
I believe so.
Okay. It's important that it goes to the very bottom,
Does it?
otherwise it doesn't work properly.
Okay.
You'll start injecting air into the system.
Oh, well, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, so this port right here would be perfect. You take this port to the idle control motor and then go right into that.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
you have filtered air
Okay.
right from here. You go right into the idle control motor. Be good.
And where would you mount the motor? Anywhere, pretty much?
Right here, make a little bracket and stick it right here or something. Or
Or little guy? Maybe I can get a part number from you when you can...
yeah, they're not little. They're like this long.
Okay.
1 second. Tanner, do you have the first idle control motor I got you here at the shop? Or is it at your house?
Should be here. Unless I threw it away. No, I got it here somewhere.
Threw it away.
All you gotta do is wire that in.
What you do is take it like a call
Grab that looks menacing.
Where did I put it?
That's fine.
It's around here somewhere.
Okay. Just wanted to show this guy with the Datsun, the approximate size of one.
It's not as bad as
Where did I put it?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I didn't throw it away, I know that.
Okay. Well, that's good.
It might still
Just-
be in my car.
Just throw my gifts away. I see what's going on.
I did throw it away. I know I didn't.
Okay.
It might be in my car still.
Gotcha. That's GTR stuff. Whale poop.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you found it? Perfect. They're about this size. This isn't the exact one, but this is a similar one.
Okay.
The one that he has, it's a 90 degree.
And what do they call it a what?
It's an idle air control motor.
Idle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So about this big. So you mount it
Yeah.
on there, and this one's a 3-wire. These are kind of funky. I don't like the 3-wire. All right, are the keys in it?
Yeah, they're in the ignition.
All right. And back around the dyno. I think it's a pretty cool little build on that, huh? Little Johnson turbo and everything with an EFR. I think it's pretty sweet. Would have chose better in EMS, you know, personally, but it's still good. I think that it's freaking very clean, nice little location, very tucked away. I'm a fan. Oh. Small pedals. I can fix that too. That is way too long of a crank. Oh, Jack Armstrong steering too. Little manual steering. Hey Chase. How's my width?
What?
How's my width back there?
I'll go with that.
Not that. Hey! Not that. My width. The car. The ramps. I'll bring it in closer. Let's see here.
Your angle's back.
Yeah. How's the other side?
Pretty centered. Go to the left a little.
Well, I can't.
Alright, well, then you're good.
All right.
I'd ship it.
That was fun. You were on top of the back tires in this thing. You were on top of the back tire on this thing. I looked back and I was like,
Car, that must make that when a car never drive because you're sitting on the axle, you know?
right, so you feel the drift.
Yes.
As soon as it moves, you feel it.
Yeah.
It probably feels like you're wider than you are too.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, I'm so sideways. You're like, a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 5 inches from your butt.
It's right there.
You're literally on the axle.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
I ran over a glass bottle or something on the freeway.
Yeah.
Vette, on my way to the courthouse.
Uh-huh.
It was the scariest sound ever in that car. I thought the whole car broke.
All I heard is just everywhere.
It's like when I hit that jackrabbit in the RS doing 105. It just sounded like shattered glass against the car.
Yeah, this is, I'm looking for more. I mean, good horsepower out of the reliability, right?
Right.
I'm not trying to get everything on the table it's got, you know?
Sure.
But something's good and strong.
What year is this?
It's a 78.
78.
Dude, and it's
It's in good shape.
I'm really impressed with the power now. I mean, it's easy, but you just can't keep your foot out because it just comes spin off.
Right. What's the last name?
Johnson?
Ron, right?
Yes.
Okay. Johnson. Send, comma, run. It's like, is it a Nissan or a Datsun? Like this year, it's a Datsun, right?
And this year it's a Datsun. I think even back then the mother company was Nissan.
Is it just a Z, right?
Yeah.
Not a ZX or anything like that. You said it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
78?
78. It's the last year of this body style. Then they went to the ZX.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
This has the nasty bumpers, you know, that's when they put the speed control bumpers in back in 78.
The 5 mile an hour bumpers?
Yeah, right.
5 mile an hour bumpers. Yeah. Every car commercial at the time had that on the freaking TV. I'll never forget that when I was a kid. All the time.
Yeah. I thought about swapping them for the other ones.
Rear anti-lock brakes, 5 mile an hour bumpers, come standard.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
But yes.
Yeah. So that seems like a long crank to start. Is it always that long, or is it different when it's cold?
It's pretty much like that.
Okay.
And all the time. So,
Okay, this is a problem.
is that?
Yeah. This creates boost control issues.
Okay.
Having it off the intake manifold
Okay. Where should it go?
should come off the turbo outlet.
Really? Okay. And that's
Isn't
where.
there one down there?
It is, and that's, but I've got this going to the.
Oh, why didn't you use the solenoid this came with?
Excuse me?
I mean, the turbo came with a solenoid. Why did you use that?
I don't know. I mean, we just didn't.
Huh.
It was an option, and I just kind of let my son run with it. I think he had experience with this, and he had one from his car. But, I mean, is that a big deal to change it back over? Or probably, right? Because you have to.
I mean, it's a way better solenoid. It's on that thing.
Is it?
And it already has a port coming off it
Right.
for the supply.
Okay. I thought I had this plumbed correctly, but I guess not.
Yeah. So you don't want to set it all.
Oh, no.
Because what it does is it causes the turbo to build a bunch of boost behind the throttle plate, and then when you give it throttle, you get like 18, 20 times the boost percentage all of a sudden instead of being.
Oh, that could be some of my, that could be some of my overdose. So it should be over here?
Got it. Yep. Should be on outlet of the turbo, the little nipple was on it somewhere.
Right. And where do I have that? So that nipple's coming out of here.
That one's
It's coming up.
that one's right.
Yeah.
That one should actually go here. Be better.
Okay.
That one there should go right here, and then the other one is on turbo compressor housing.
Right.
That black solenoid that came on it, it had a boost source already too off the turbo.
Okay.
So have the hose on, you guys cap to the side, or
We may have.
so it's a 3-port on there, and it's got a big hose that goes into the turbo. That's on the side.
Oh, yeah, it's cap right there.
That's on the left. Oh, not that.
Nothing there?
No, keep going. I'll go into the side of it. Right there, your hose, but keep going. Engine side. So it's like right there, I can't see through.
Yeah.
Careful, it's on. Burn yourself on that. So you do feel the hose on the side there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the source for the solenoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there should be something beyond that.
So then that hose goes from the solenoid to the turbo.
Okay.
Right now, the way they come, just
Right.
Yes, ideally, that source off the turbo on the other side there would be going to the solenoid, which it is right now, but not your solenoid.
It's more of this one,
Go to
right?
that
And
one.
you'd ideally want that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Hmm.
In the meantime, that's not really available for us.
Before it was here. Oh, there's one right here. There's a rubber.
The reach?
But it's a little loose. I think if I can cut that,
They
maybe.
say, plenty of headaches can stretch out and stuff.
Just get the rack right down there and use some out of this. I think I have to do some, I'm trying to read online, there's so much bullshit out there, and it's just, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, to be honest, right? I really will. Yeah, I'll pause that. That's there. And then. And then go into the. Split out right there.
So what we've done is a couple things. One, taking the signal to the valve and make it back. Right out back to the valve. We also have one here. That's the one that's over here. I wish it's super regular. Let's see. That one needs 12. This one is, I believe, so. That's one thing we're going to want.
There's some different,
Yeah, you definitely want it loose reference. Okay. Because you want this to be short top. Okay. So along the hose, remember you get a massive pressure chain. This is giving a pull. Right? Okay. So you put the resonance into the max string diagram side.
Okay.
All of a sudden they're going to get around here. The ramp and everything.
So I can pull back to, still you want to pull off of the
manifold.
yeah. But
Close you can do that. Sorry, short. Shortest possible. Now you got over here to your resolution before.
well, I had it here on the card wall, but it keeps seeing so much heat generating heat when I was up the road one day, and I looked at it, and my film picture, and my temperature was hot, and it heat sounds, I think it's blowing fuel up, and so I went to go out and really late, and I stopped at the bank, and I set the handle on it, and I just had to do it. So that's when I went back to it. It's fun, because I was building it all. This pressure now. I wouldn't say 3. So I have to, something I have to take a look at how.
If you're in issue, you're in issue.
And here, the indirect can be spacing that intake, I mean, cool off before you're early.
I would do that. I would just make sure it's good and sealed. So that in there, it's not going to fill out, it's forced to do everything. Installation, you may space out, but you're trying to capture pressure. It's not about just when blowing on it, it's about where the pressure area. Okay. There's a different pressure from one side of the other that forces it through it. So you don't want that, one, make sure that there's not a lot of leakage coming out of here and spilling out. Right, so here's what it does, and it's going to try and not go in. Right, it's going to capture what this is for. This good here helps capture the air on the front of the car and force it to leave. So this is longer, and more than good, and about 2.
Yeah, these fans were, they pulled a lot more air than what I originally had in it. So it's kind of this last winter project that I've done, and it's done a really good job. It probably, I don't think, right now, it's probably not exceeding 190 maybe. And it was before, right up, sitting up to that 200, 210. No, but it's just got to the point that if you're in traffic, and that gauge lies to you, the gauge that's in it. I mean, it's not, if you look at Megascore, it's probably 10 degrees colder than what that says. And of course, you always want to believe the gauge you're reading, right? Right. And I didn't want to put any aftermarket shit in there and stuff, but.
Has it steel blocking heads?
Still locking it. That's still locking. I think it's a steel block aluminum, but.
Oh, okay. Alright. Well, let me get some straps on this thing and.
Okay. You want the slip closed?
No, I'm gonna. Oh, I'm actually gonna connect into it for boost reference. So now. Hold it down, so you need to apply.
So what is your preference for engine management these days?
Depends on the platform, you know, like we're dealing with.
Right.
But I use Link and Haltech the most.
Okay.
For the money, you can't beat the Link. Link just for the price can't beat. There's more features than anything else. And you know, like an ECM that supports every function you could ever imagine and more is like $1,600.
Wow.
The closed loop lambda onboard wideband and that kind of stuff on it already, it's like $1,600. So it's really good. I have a Link Fury in my car because it has the onboard lambda, and you just plug the O2 sensor directly into the ECU, right? No controller, it's all built into the ECU.
Oh wow.
So
That's cool. I mean, that's a money savings right there, and density and.
well, so it's a money savings in that, but it's also really it's a feature that you want. Because right now in your software with your wideband, you have a delay. You have it waiting 30 seconds or something for it to warm up. And some days the wideband warms up in 8 seconds. Some days it warms up in a minute. So there's always this period of time where you're waiting for the wideband to feed data to your ECU. You're like, and the ECU doesn't know. And if for some reason it's not warmed up and that timer expires, then the ECU now starts using what's bad information from the sensor. Because if it's like a Innovate sensor, for example, it's going to display a 7 point something, you know, AFR. So now all of a sudden the ECU's like, oh, we're rich as hell. Start pulling fuel. Your car starts dying or hesitating or running bad because it's pulling a bunch of fuel out, when it's only because the timer expired before the sensor warmed up. With the onboard system, the ECU always knows what status it's in. If it's not warmed up, it's not taking it. It's not using the signal. And that's
Absolutely.
very advantageous. Also,
Probably a lot just like using that boost controller in the actual turbo as opposed to one aftermarket.
a little bit
It's
like
all right
that.
there.
Yeah, a little bit like that, for sure. But also, like Innovate, who are you using? What band's in this? What do you got?
It's sitting right here. It's a Canadian company at.
Canadian, like PLX or something?
Gosh, I can't. It's I haven't tucked in there. I can't remember.
Okay. So like Innovate ones, they do a really bad job at controlling the sensor temperature. And so you have very, very short lifespan.
Yeah, you guys don't remember all this stuff. I remember when I was doing it, and then I get on different things that I worked on. Yeah, I turned 59 yesterday, right? So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, I think.
Yeah, memories going, you know.
Oh, fuck. Mine's already going. I'm only 44.
Oh, shoot. You look a lot younger than 44.
It's got hair.
Yeah.
It was
That all comes to territory, doesn't it? One thing we can't avoid, you know?
Oh yeah, age.
That's right.
Age, hair loss. Looked down in the shower this morning and saw a pile of hair, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna have this much longer.
Yeah, I think when I get totally to that point, I'll just probably start buzzing it off completely, you know? Then it's all that more maintenance, you know?
I grew it long. I just cut it off. I never grew it long my entire life. And I was like, well, I don't have much opportunity left to do it.
now,
I should do
right?
it now while I have it. And it was still a few years too late. How going to go right here. Yeah. That freaking control arm's like a platter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like strange, huh? They're kind of cheesy, actually.
It's gigantic. I mean, it's like the McDonald's trays that you get. They give you your food on them.
Yep.
It's huge.
Yeah, when I replaced every bushing, you know, part, you know, everything in this thing when I did it. So it's really tight. When you're going down the freeway, man, you cruise at 120, no sweat, I mean, it just hangs right there.
It's crazy.
Better than when it was, you know, when they first built them.
Oh yeah, and then you got 14 dirt farmer.
Boy, I had a couple of 240s these, and I sold, my last one I sold 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, the most foolish thing I've ever done. That car was number 1600 of those built. It was a 70, had 35,000 original miles.
Wow.
And at the time, it was good money. I sold for 16 grand. Today, that car would be 60 to 75 grand probably.
How long did you sell it?
Just 5 years ago.
Well, even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
60 grand it used to be.
Well, that's true. And I got rid of a Bronco here about 4 years ago. I should never got rid of that either.
The inflation has gone so much. The used car market is blowing up like crazy right now.
Yeah, I don't think we even begin to see the beginnings of the inflation. I think it's just going to go out of sight.
Yeah. It's starting to go. I mean, nowadays, 50K isn't jack shit for income.
No, come on.
You barely survive on 50K.
Yeah.
When 10 years ago, even 50K was a decent amount, and 20 years ago, you were living large at 50K.
Well, now they're talking about like minimum wage, you know, minimum $15 an hour, and it's such an arbitrary number. I mean, you might as well make it $50 an hour. It just doesn't really matter. You're just going to pay $25 for a burger, right? I mean, it's really a talking point.
Or like $30 for a sheet of plywood.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
yeah, 55.
That's already happening.
Yep.
Check that out. Work out. Take two.
So you're maxed out, huh? You got a lot of work on your backlog.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. You know, some of it's maxed out, some of it's trying to change my focus.
Yeah.
Not digging supers that much anymore.
You just kind of done with that whole scene, or
I'm
what?
done with it. I just don't like the basic stuff. You know? I don't enjoy doing a regular stage 2 STI. It's something I've been doing for since like for Subaru since like 2003.
Wow.
You know? And they haven't changed them. It's like Subaru's like, oh, check it out.
Wow.
It's revolutionary new thing. It's been the same thing until like last couple of years. Even then, it's not.
I did too, but I just love Japanese cars. I like German cars. distributors one day because they were never built real well, like tin cans. And when they became really, really inexpensive in the early 80s. And then all the kids in the world took them and destroyed them. And they realized that, hey, there's no more left. Oh crap. Then all of a sudden their value starts to go back up in the mid-80s, and now they're just out of sight. They just had a 240Z sell at auction for 300 grand. Jesus. I mean, it's probably one of the nicest ones in the entire world. But...
So what's the difference between 240 and 280?
Yeah, so the 240 was the first year, and it was a 2.4 liter, 2.8 in this. It's a little bit bigger displacement. They were a lot lighter. Geometry-wise, they're all pretty much the same. Probably a lot more nostalgia than 240, you know, just because it was the first year. These were small jacket, they were carbureted. You will, we do that. So it sounds like we could have been breaking that overspool just with the possible at least so you have your laptop for this? Tommy, you talking?
Yeah. Hey, dude. Can you hear me? Hello?
You're not there?
Yeah.
Hey, Jay? Okay, yeah, you heard. Yeah, so he's asking what version of Megascore we're using. I didn't bring my laptop. MS3.
What version of Tuner Studio?
357. Any other details about that you recall?
What firmware are you running? Do you know what firmware you're running? Or anything?
It does have all the MS3X. And what else? Yeah, we chose not to use the knock circuit anyways, just because MS3X is essentially what it is. It's 3.57 instead. Okay, thanks for being my resource, AJ.
See if I can connect to it or not.
Yeah, he just got it mounted up in the rack. So. Are you at work? Okay, I'll let. Okay, well, anything else, Dominic? Did I do it?
For now?
That's it?
I think so. We'll see.
Wait, let's see if I can do it. I talked to him about that too. Yeah, so he didn't really put any time into it. It was kind of cursory, so just kind of just a little comment. Yeah.
goals. Anybody here anymore? We got 4 of you guys. You guys are committed. I appreciate it. Alright, so this was a Mega Squirt thing. I went through and changed a bunch of stuff on a startup. A startup was kind of not great. We're going to tip in right now a little bit. But before you tip it even can be done correctly, honestly, you got to do the VE map. So the first step is the VE map. I just wanted to see how close it was. How fast is that cranking? So we got a little too much on the cranking, I think. It's a little rich. But again, the V table's not done, so that's it. But before it wouldn't start at all. Like it was, he cranked for a long time before it started. So a couple times now it fires right up. A couple times it cranks a little too much. Needs to have a full flood clear. So it could be prime. It could be cranking. I don't know which it is. It could be the V map's wrong. So what we're gonna do is the typical first step on a speed density tune is always establish the VE curve. So I'm gonna make my way through this notchy gearbox, and we're going to work on the VE curve. So I'm gonna lock a speed, and well, first we'll set the dyno. I gotta do it 60 miles an hour, so get that part done first. So right at 3100, so 60 miles an hour is right at 3100, so I tell the dyno now. 31 now the dyno matches the speed of the tach. Tach says 2. Dyno says 2 at the bottom middle. Yep. Alright. Yeah, knocks it real pussies. Alright, so I'm going to turn the camera around a little bit for a second. Face me. Hello, Governor. Oopsie. Okay, alright. I'm going to lock the speed at 30 miles an hour. Let's give us a low RPM, but a high load. So now, do VE tuning. But first, I'm going to turn off the wideband because I don't want it to work. No correction. Burn. There we go. So 3D tuning maps, fuel VE. So this is the VE table we're working with right now. It's not very complete. So we're going to work on completing it. So what we do is we lock the speed. We got our wideband right here. And we adjust our VE until we get this to match our target AFR table. Now what's our target AFR table say? So we got to check that out. AFR table. So this says 13.9, that's too much. You still want to be 14.7. In fact, I want 14.7 all the way to 100, just so I can get the VE table correct. So I'm going to do that 14.7, like that. We'll do all the way to atmospheric pressure. This will let us get our VE table correct. So now the ECU is commanding 14.7. I look over here until I get 14.7, and I adjust the VE until that happens. So right here, between two cells. I don't like this view at all, actually. I do not like this at all. Do follow mode. I need two hands, unfortunately. here I'm in the middle of a bunch of cells. So you should change them together. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm changing them together. So we get what we want. Right there. Now ignition advance is pretty low. It's not good for EGTs, but it's good for preventing knock. It's good for preventing knock while you're doing this. It's not great for EGTs. That's why you don't stay in it long. You let off, go back to the cell, see where you're at. Now I have tau fueling enabled right now. Tau is wall wetting, if that name doesn't make any sense to you. Wall wetting is enabled, so changes up. We'll give you some richness, changes down. We'll give you some leanness, and then in between. Let's see, let's load this a little bit. Bit, let it cool if it's developed any heat. Coolant temp is good though. Alright, I'm full throttle right now. No boost coming in, nothing like that. There's no advance either, 10 degrees, 12 degrees isn't any advance either. So it should not make it any freaking torque, I bet. Yeah, the whole 33 horsepower, but we're at 1500 RPM, so that's like highway cruising type numbers. Okay. So now we're doing again another step on the V. I'm going to change the RPM, and we're going to another part of the map, and then we're going to move over here. Let's burn this, and then we're going to move to another part. We're going to raise the RPM up. We're going to do this spot right here, and do the V through this column, and then when we get these values, we'll know we're up to 3 grand. I'll have to hit these a little bit. Then hopefully eventually they'll start looking like a actual VE table, and not like some weird mountain range. Bump the speed up 5 miles an hour on the dyno. See if that moves up to the right. It does not. Let's go a few more. Right there. That's pretty close right there. The back out some we go. A little rich, which I would expect because this looks like it's a little high right here. RPM a little more. One temp it's getting all up there now, 190. We'll give it a sec, let it cool off a little bit. No timing on this thing again. Just need to work on that advanced map. That'll help with the freaking EGTs and cylinder heat. So let's go to the table here. Wasn't terrible. Just need some advance in this area for sure. Oh, listen to that. Wow. The engine changed tone. I added timing to it and the whole engine changed tone dramatically. I don't know if you heard that or not. That was a big change in tone, so that's good. Made this a little happier now. Oh, it just sounded smoother. That's crazy how much that changed. He warned me this thing had the rear end noise, and he didn't get this thing kind of really bumps around in there. AFR leaned out quite a bit too when I had that timing. Much more effective use of air and fuel apparently. So we're gonna need to back to that VE map a little bit. This is way low. Alright, let's go back up. Oh man, she wants to go. Had a hard time slowing it down now. Sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm being serious. It does really want to go now. I had so much ignition, I had to raise the VE table. I have to go back to the setting again, back to the old speed. My wife just texted me. Say, what? What time is it? Oh, fuck. Day's dragging on. overrun fuel cut's not working. Balls right here. What's going on? Oops, hold on. I gotta put this down. I need both hands so I get this thing done in a reasonable amount of time. I'm looking for a place to mount it. Scheiße.